And this week on Genelec Music Channel, it's turn for Jamaican music, deep stuff. Well, Jamaican music scene is legendary. It's been going on for a long time, and it never tires out. It's amazing. It's an island. Population is a little bit bigger than Finland, and it just keeps pushing out music, incredible amount of music year after year. And if you think about how much it's influenced the rest of the world's music, it's mind-blowing. It's like you could basically tell that hip-hop and rap has its origins in Jamaican sound system clashes. And there was a lot of Jamaican people living in the Bronx who started doing that and kind of like morphed into that. And nowadays it's the dancehall that is the number one thing. Dancehall started as a very crude and rude kind of art form, very dangerous, very macho kind of thing, and now it's formed into pop, you know, and they're using the auto-tune and all that, which I personally hate. But it also has respect for the old music, for the old musicians. It's pretty nuts. It's if you just tour around there a little bit, you can see small bars, restaurants, and it's like tomorrow Yellow Man, tomorrow the Aggravators. You know, it's like all those guys are still making a living over there. And those who made it big, they left the island, most of them. They all live in Miami nowadays, which is a little bit sad. But also at the same time, you look at the people, the famous people who got murdered over there over the years, because they become targets, because they have money, because the island is so poor. Then you understand why they want to leave. And there's the different parts of the island, you know. St. Andrews is a fertile, beautiful place. And Kingston there's still record stores over there. They are still fighting the small vinyl stores. They are still sticking to it, so that not everything goes into streaming. And we found Earl Chinna Smith from there, who's basically a legend, played on over 2,000 recordings, was the Black Ark Studios, Lee Scratch Perry Studios house guitar player, played with Bob Marley, played with everybody over there, and he took us into his house, and he has these porch jams where everybody can come and they start jamming, and they jam from sunrise till sunset. They said after sunset, then they leave the neighbors alone. And it's a pretty cool way of jamming. He has an old Rockola jukebox next to his chair, and he picks a 45 from there and puts it on. And we listen to the song, and then he goes, "You got the song down?" Like, "Yeah, I got it." And then we play it. We did that for about 5 or 6 hours that afternoon, and people kept coming in and lighting up, and you play a drum and la-di-da-da. So for me, it was like, you know, Christmas. Absolutely. So I got to play those songs that I've known all my life. As a bass player, reggae is pretty damn important if you're a bass player, and I got to play a lot of those songs. Jolly Boys. I seen the video, the Amy Winehouse cover, Ain't Going to the Rehab, no, 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 that song. And I just cracked up when I saw it. It was a bunch of 80-year-old dudes who were singing that they don't want to go to a rehab. And they did it in the mento style, which is like the mother of all Jamaican music. Kind of everything comes from mento. And then I did some research on them, and it turns out that Errol Flynn gave him the name. So it's like, okay, this thing deepens. And I happened to go on vacation to Jamaica about a year before our trip over there. and I went to St. Andrews, and the hotel where I stayed was owned by a group of guys who also own a recording studio and who also happened to manage Jolly Boys. So when we started heading to Jamaica to do the episode, I called those guys up, G-Jam Studios and G-Jam Productions, and they basically hooked me up with everything. And of course I went to have Jolly Boys in because mento is the mother of all Jamaican music, and they are the greatest representatives of it all, and they hooked us up with a really great fixer with Carly and Samuels, and I expected Jamaica to be one of the more difficult ones to fix, and you know, it's very laid back over there, so I didn't think everything was going to run on time. Boy, was I wrong. I was big time wrong. Sorry about that. Everything went like a clockwork. They did an amazing thing. People were more polite and nice than I could have ever imagined, and the musicians as well, and especially the Jolly Boys. I got Johnny, the mento box player, he built me a little mento box, so I got one at home now. Kabaka Pyramid is among like Protege and Chronics, and yeah, there's a whole kind of like young conscious reggae movement who's doing the old school reggae but also mixing it up with kind of new school stuff. And there's Jah 9, Protege, Kabaka Pyramid, and we managed to get Kabaka Pyramid for the program. We threw out basically all those names. I really wanted to have Jah 9 because I really dug her first record, you know, the debut album, because she's really doing something different, and there hasn't really been in that genre like conscious reggae, political lyrics and spiritual lyrics, there really hasn't been that many female artists, so I really wanted to have her on it. And Kabaka Pyramid came in that same kind of research thing. Once I started listening to his first album, I needed to have him on the program. He's a very powerful guy who's very, you know, unforgiving with what he says, and it's a good thing that young people keep the kind of like the Bob Marley's tradition and Peter Toshi's tradition alive, that you talk about the social ills and talk about what's wrong with where you live through music and try to uplift people that way.
You can't fool all the people all the time. Now we see the light, yeah. Stand up for your rights. Simply beg, get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up.